Hi guys! Jake and Marisa back again for more live reactions to Power Rangers Ninja Steel. And there's apparently also some other new Power Rangers-esque stuff going on this week.
Season 19?
You mean Power Rangers Samurai? I know you're trying to say the 2019
season?
I'm so amused that somebody mistook for those, some of you may have heard about Power Rangers Hyperforce. Power Rangers Hyperforce is not going to be a Power Ranger season. It's a separate thing. But somebody on Twitter thought that it was going to be the next season after Super Ninja Steel, and
tweeted as such.
And they tweeted as such. And then the Power Rangers Twitter liked that. They didn't retweet it, but they did like it, which I find kind of hilarious. They were smart enough, at the very least, it looks like, not to have retweeted it, because that's how...
Maybe they have, like, an Autobot? A bot that likes anything that contains the words Power Rangers... what is it called?
Power Rangers Hyperforce.
Power Rangers Hyperforce?
I think, and it might just be whenever their Twitter handle gets mentioned or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just found that kind of hilarious. I mean, Hyperforce does look like it's kind of a fun little thing.
Why do I always get something in my eye right when we start doing videos?
I guess I should probably stop poking you. I didn't poke her. Anyway, Power Rangers Hyperforce is a partnership thing with Twitch TV, specifically for their Hyper RPG channel. It's going to be a group of internet celebrities and past cast members engaging in a tabletop role-playing game it's a custom game based around Power Rangers. So they each get to be...
It's kind of like watching people play Dungeons and Dragons on Geek and Sundry.
Yeah.
Only they're playing a Power Rangers tabletop.
Yeah, and this is apparently a thing that exists. Like, I've seen commercials for, like, Harmon Quest, which is, like, Dan Harmon, who's the creator of, like, Community and Rick and Morty, playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, along with animated clips. I doubt this will have animated clips, but it'll be a similar kind of thing.
Will be? Didn't you watch the first episode already?
No, it was a panel announcing things.
Oh, okay.
Which included, you have Peter Sidarso, who's in Ninja Steel right now, is going to be playing the Red Ranger Marv. You've got Andre the Black Nerd, who we've met at Power Morphicon a couple times.
He interviewed us once.
Yeah, he interviewed us at PMC 14 when we did 2014.
Which is the last one I was at.
Yeah, when we did before we did our live show, which was great. I love that we did that. And then the Black Ranger is Christina V, who's a voice actress who I'm not super familiar with. The Pink Ranger is Strawberry 17. She apparently runs her own YouTube channel and things.
I've heard of her, yes.
Okay.
I believe she does mostly Japanese stuff.
Okay. And then Polly Schreier is going to be the Yellow Ranger Jack, which is...
I feel like she has strawberries.
I think that's gonna bring a lot of fun to it.
Make sure that I'm right.
And then I feel bad because I'm forgetting the name of the game master. I want to say Melina something, maybe? I'm not sure. But it looks like a lot of fun, and Peter Sidarso designed the costumes for everyone, so the images of that have been getting shared. Which has also been leading people to misinterpret those images as being a future Power Rangers season, even though that's not how Power Rangers seasons work.
No, it's not how Power Rangers work.
But it's all like a campaign with Time Force recruits, and they're trained by Jen Stott, and Erin Cahill was even in the panel, so that was cute.
Yeah, she did unboxings of cutesy Japanese toys.
Oh, okay.
She's apparently expanded from there.
Yeah, I take it that the people who I haven't heard of are people who are like way more famous outside of things I'm not familiar with. one thing you were actually asking me about a moment ago was that you were singing the theme song of Grid Defense, and I found out that apparently
stuck in my head.
When Peter Sidarso was designing the costumes for Hyperforce, they were partially inspired by Go Busters, because that's his that's apparently aesthetically his favorite Sentai. So I when I saw that on Twitter, I shared a link to Grid Defense with him. I don't know if he's seen the link yet or not, because that was just like 10 minutes ago. But I'd find that
cool
pretty funny.
if he did, but I mean.
Well, I also know he's just a huge fan in general.
People tweet at celebrities all the time.
Yeah,
so.
he'll probably not even say it, but who knows? He's a fan himself, so he might enjoy seeing a fan film. But anywho, we should see him on the TV, because all comes back around. Time for episode.
Time Force?
No, that's getting it confused with Hyperforce again. No. Time for Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode 17, or 18, depending on how you're counting it, but 17 really, not including the Halloween special. The Adventures of Redbot.
Wait, they're actually going to do something with Redbot?
I know. I'm so excited to see if they can actually make him relevant to the show. Oh, Earth's greatest ninja. We barely knew you.
10 years later, a new generation of warriors rises up to protect the ninja power stars.
Some call them the digital generation.
They are
Power Rangers Ninja Steel. There's your sync up point for those watching at home.
I feel like I heard about her when I was watching Rangers, but I can't prove that right now.
I remember it as if it was yesterday.
What?
The Rangers were fighting a fearsome monster, Trapsaw.
What?
So apparently all this time, while the Rangers and Mac have been trying to do the stuff, he's been blogging. Redbot has been blogging.
No. Oh no. You've been self-insert fanficking yourself, haven't you?
Take care of this.
Really? So apparently, what Redbot's been doing all this time we haven't seen him been doing anything, has been dreaming of relevance.
Levi, I didn't see you there.
Is he a robotic Gilderoy Lockhart?
Oh, I do love the internet.
A blog, huh?
The Adventures of Redbot.
Took you a moment.
Whoa. Look at all those followers. Thousands of people are reading your stories.
Don't worry, I've kept everyone's identity secret.
I'm just amazed.
Redbot.
The internet is amazing.
Sounds right on that Trapsaw story. What I remember was...
You not being there at all?
Chainsaw Chump and his little friends. Now, where were we? Final attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Good job.
Redbot wasn't
I may
there.
have embellished the story just a bit, you know, to make it more exciting.
What?
To
No.
make yourself more heroic.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But my blog is just for fun.
Be careful, Redbot. Telling fibs even for fun usually ends up getting you in trouble.
Oh dear.
Oh my... Redbot! You're fake news!
A strange man in the rec area. He says he wants to talk to...
Are we teaching children about fake news, or are we teaching children about creating fake lives on the internet? Because people do that,
Both,
too.
I guess. I don't know. Go. Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Evil with all our might together, Ninja Steel. Never give out without a fight together, Ninja Steel. Power Rangers, fear no danger. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go. Send out for what is right together, Ninja Steel.
Sing all day and night
together, Ninja Steel.
What are they doing all day and night?
Feel no danger.
Go, go, Power Rangers.
Go, go, Power Rangers. Power Rangers, Ninja Steel. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, Ninja Steel. Just this. What? Why are you just walking around? He's just a robot project. What? What is even the cover? You're just a robot.
I believe he is pretending to be a far less...
Hello, Mr. Willoughby. What? How do you know that he lives at the school?
How did you find me, Mr.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I tracked your internet IP address to Summer Cove High. Lucky for me, Mick knew who you
Teaching
were.
children that your IP address can be found.
An offer for you that most robots could only dream of.
What?
Come with
What do you mean most robots?
All robots dream of is electric sheep.
I want to turn the Adventures of Redbot into a bestseller. You'll be famous.
Famous?
How are you two tying into this?
It's simple. Sign right here and the whole world can enjoy
He's-
the stories.
The whole world can already enjoy his stories. That's why it's called the internet.
Don't sign.
Well, that may not be
You're
why.
his managers now, aren't you?
It's
You don't even know what he is.
For starters, Redbird here will take free oil
Redbird?
for life, plus a bonus wax and polish.
That does sound nice.
Don't worry, as your new managers, we'll get you every dime you deserve.
Wow.
I made a few
What?
of those.
Where'd you get all that extra paper?
His pants? I don't know.
No, sorry, this is my first and final offer. Take it or leave it.
Wait, well, where is it now? It's buried under
We'll take it.
400 pages. What?
This is my lucky day.
What?
Welcome to the big time, Redbot.
His signature says robot, and it's a smiley face.
I think it said Redbot. Because his name is Redbot.
His handwriting's atrocious.
What? Of course Cosmo would be a fan. I love you, Cosmo. You're the
Cosmo knows it's fake, though.
Everyone's reading that stupid blog by that fucking Redbot.
Website says they're turning it into a book and having a signing. A book signing, huh? Now.
Oh my god.
Idea that might
Wait.
finally destroy those Rangers.
I just realized.
This is essentially the fame equivalent of Munchausen by internet.
It worked. I already zapped Cosmo's cave
Well-
this morning.
well,
Just now, I pressed a button and he froze in time.
Here's the thing I just realized, though.
Do that to Redbox books, and then
A book publisher is better at locating the Rangers' base than the villains are.
Well, he didn't locate the base, he just located Redbot at the school.
Yeah, but he knows they're at the school. That's where their base. That's where Redbot is.
But did Redbot say they're at the that the Rangers' base is at the school? Or did he
Well,
just say he
logically
lives-
speaking, where else would Redbot be if not their base?
Redbot's stories really that
I
good?
don't know, it really depends on his...
They are. because
I'm just saying.
The truth of it. That's not
It should be really easy for them to figure out their base is at the school.
Hey, look,
Who's
guys.
this
It's
girl?
Mary, my biggest fan.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Mary.
That's cute and random. Hey, Cody, we haven't seen you in a while. Actually, I don't think we've seen you since the last Redbot episode.
And why are we having this at the school? Is the school like everything in
The
this
school
town?
is everything in this town.
It's town hall.
hello everyone. I'm Redbot.
Also,
Welcome to my book club.
why are you two even on stage with him?
To give you all a free copy of...
Oh, not a free copy.
I've just been told that the books haven't arrived yet.
What?
I'm very sorry.
What?
I can't imagine what the holdup is.
What did you do?
I've detected bus cabs in the city. We better go check it out.
So, while we wait, perhaps I can tell you a story. One that's not in the book.
And if you're lucky, I'll tell you a story too.
And me.
Why? Why are you applauding? Do you two care who they're about their stories?
Nice combination there.
Wow, that was really easy to... Oh, and there are more now. Nice combination of...
Footage.
No way, that's a
Oh.
coincidence.
I can swear when they saw the truck from the back, that wasn't our footage.
I'm not sure. It went by too quick.
I could be wrong.
It's good to know you're keeping your eye out for it. It's a fun exercise.
I better hurry.
I'm
But
always keeping my eye out for these things. I might be wrong, but I'm...
Once they touch these books, those rangers won't know what hit them.
okay.
But what makes you so sure that the Rangers are going to want to read Redbot's book?
Because they're friends and they're being supportive. And this is Power Rangers.
They also all know it's completely fake.
Yeah, but they'll still be supportive.
Besides which, nobody would buy a book that's a compilation of a blog.
That's not true.
This is an invasion of my nasal pipes.
People would buy. People buy things. Like, there have been plenty of, like, web novels that have later been published as real novels.
That's different.
Not by much.
Most of those are always intended to be published.
Okay.
This was clearly written as a blog, not a novel.
Okay. What is happening? Why is...
It's Mario. It's the new Mario on Switch. His hat
Is it-
goes on things, and they become other things. Look, now he is Bullet Bill.
What are you, Mario?
Possessed by a hat, apparently.
Oh, you know what I just saw an ad for is apparently a new Netflix series?
Huh?
Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Force.
Is this Fernando the Bull?
Ferdinand the Bull, yes. Blue Sky.
Yep, that's me. I'm Ferdinand. Ferdinand is like very big.
Holy beefaroni!
They made a movie out of Ferdinand the Bull.
Oh yeah, this is Blue Sky.
You shot Maria.
I've known about this for years now. Actually, wow. This has been in development a long time.
Exactly how Ferdinand feels.
Because this was in pre-production.
Did I hear about this from you?
Possibly. Well, if you hadn't heard about it from me, I definitely told you about it at some point, because this was in pre-production back when I visited Blue Sky.
Okay, no, I'm not hallucinating. This is a book.
Yeah. It was a book that was adapted originally into a Disney short.
Yes!
Yeah.
And yes! That's...
I'm getting out of this.
But yeah, back,
Can you just try to be a little more quiet?
this must have been in,
This seems way complexer than the actual...
oh yeah, they expand on it greatly. Wow, it's been that long.
Build a battle system.
It was in pre-production when I went to visit Blue Sky, and that was that must have been 5 years ago at least.
We go wherever the adventure.
Because that's back when I was really heavily trying to get into animation, and I haven't really focused on that since I started doing Power Reviews, which has now been 5 years.
I really miss when they were making new micro Minecraft Legos. See, I'm not a huge fan of the big ones,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed the teeny tiny ones.
Is Catacloc's tail split into two things? I don't know what the deal is with his tail. Loan up the
I
Koopas.
will let you know next time I see him on screen.
His tail is kind of odd looking.
You better get to the book launch.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was hired to do. Can't quite remember why I was parked here this whole time.
I assume he was parked there because of the bad guys.
We better get back to that book launch.
Just kind of chilling there. The guy could have driven away at any time.
There you go.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
There we go. Had one of those things that pulls up by the side of your nail, and they're really...
So apparently Catacloc's whole thing is that
Victor, we want a Redbot story.
It's
It's that pesky little girl again.
Let me think.
I like that the little girl hates them.
Everything okay?
Let's hope so.
Like,
You're just in time.
I'm not even sure
Why
why
is
she
nobody
knows.
else being frozen by the books?
It's a time delay thing.
And the monsters were determined to rule.
I think he waits until everybody's
I know this
holding
one.
them or something.
It was a big earthquake.
That's right.
She was there,
Was trying to collapse the concert venue.
and now you are going to. Are you going to
Gonna get
get?
called out by a little girl.
You're going to get live fact checked by a little girl, aren't you? No, don't.
Blast their arm. Fire up.
Why would you make that up? She's the little girl of the story.
Oh, it was nothing, Mary.
Why
Once again, I saved the day.
why would you lie about that?
That's what I was talking about.
Why would you?
Redbot stories are a little exaggerated, to say the least.
Oh, they didn't even know?
Buddy.
Levi was the only one who
I was just
knew?
reading. Yeah.
How did this get this far without the rest of them having any idea what it was?
I used my sharp superhero senses to zero in on the trouble.
Oh no. Wait, are you all going to save the little girl?
Luckily, the real heroes are
Wow. Why do you have laser vision?
That was my heroic moment. You stole it.
No, I didn't. Real heroes, fair and square.
What?
You're all lying.
Yeah.
This isn't how it happened at all. The Golden Ranger saved me. You're all a bunch of phonies.
Yep.
Phonies.
Yeah, that's true.
She should have thrown the book at him. Why does she still have it?
Are your stories true or not?
No, none of them are. Have you ever seen him on the news when you've seen... Do any of you watch the news? No, you only follow the news you see on the internet. Oh my god.
Oh, he has to activate them with his remote.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a choice.
I just... Wow, this is such a commentary on real life, actually.
Look, now the books have frozen you in time. No, not everybody. Huh? What?
He did...
Your spell doesn't work on robots.
What?
Robot isn't enough to stop me from...
Why doesn't his spell work on robots?
I don't know, but now Redbot's gonna actually get to be the hero, and that's not a good moral.
Now he has to be the hero and learn how much it means to be a hero? I don't know. But it just occurred to me, like, all of these people are lining up to get a book that is based on easily disproven falsehoods based solely off they've seen it on the internet, so they believe it, even though it could easily be disproven by just watching the news on TV. This is amazing.
This is America.
Like,
It's time to laugh
I really want to know how much
and have a blast.
they had this in mind when writing this.
You can watch it
'Cause this is-
again and again. Rated PG.
This is such an analog.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Luigi have a ton of challenges, thrills, and laughs in store for this
It is
adventure.
this episode is blowing my mind.
Together, battle together, and get it together. In order to save Princess Peach's voice, you can.
I think so far at least this
adventure awaits in Mario and
this episode may very well justify Redbot's existence for me, just for the sake of this episode existing.
We go wherever the
Redbot is fake news.
Redbot is fake news.
Those who wield a sponge and can sneak past the fiendish guardian to find the legendary golden treasure. With the new Lego Minecraft, each set sold separately.
Look how successful he's gotten. Look how
Entirely based on lies.
Look, he's even got
Easily falsifiable lies.
well, easily disproven lies. I mean, lies are already falsified information.
You're welcome at her place.
Okay.
But on top of that, he even has people riding his coattails, making up their own lies to get in on the bandwagon. It's amazing.
Sets and additional pieces
sold separately. Out now from Moose.
If you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you'll love new
But they are
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Part of the complete breakfast.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Milk and apples. The ultimate.
So as I said,
So I've been using falsifiable. Wrong. I always okay. So it's something that can be. It's something that can be proven wrong. Okay.
can be proven false.
Interesting.
I
My
mean,
bad.
obviously, if you say you falsified the documents, then yes,
Right.
you mean you faked them.
Yeah, that's
But
what
when
I.
someone says that a theory is falsifiable, they mean that it is disprovable. And in fact, a theory which is not falsifiable is also not valid because you have no way of testing it.
Interesting.
So, you know, it has to be something that you could, that if the fact were not true, you'd be able to tell.
Right.
So, like, if I said, there are 20 coins in this jar,
Yeah.
that is a falsifiable statement because we can look inside and see how many coins there are.
Okay. The more you know.
But if I said there are 16 invisible marbles in here that you can't touch or see, how would you falsify that?
That's a good point. That's why Cody's there, because it's a cat. And cats are scared. And Cody can just untie his own leash, because of course he can. What? Wow. Okay, that's a...
Okay, so this is actually him being all like, I'm not a hero, you guys gotta save the day.
Wait,
So that's what they were doing at the truck. Everyone's
if you were frozen in time, how could you tell that you couldn't move and yet somehow still also not know what's going on?
She left early. She may be in danger.
You're right. Redbot and I'll find Mary. You guys find that monster. Can't have gone far. Let's go.
You could send Mick to find Mary. It really doesn't
No,
matter.
he's doing something. Oh, he's gonna take the books out of everybody else's hands
Yeah.
for some reason.
No, but what
Wait, why? No.
what I'm saying, really?
What? That is the worst place to be holding a book.
You're not supposed to cross railroad tracks on foot anyway, Mary.
Well, I can recognize that, you know, sometimes it's the only way to get across, but you definitely shouldn't do it while reading a book. Also, his powers are very vague. Does he need to be there to freeze time or not? I don't know.
Power of the ninja. Ninja steel red. Stealth of the ninja. Ninja steel blue.
You have stealth,
Of the
you
ninja.
have strength.
Ninja steel yellow.
So the point is that Redbot's statements are both false and easily falsifiable because everything's on video.
Ninja. Ninja steel pink.
On the news.
Also, I will admit, the name Cat O'Clock is just kind of a great name. Like, he's a cat, and he's a clock. Cat O'Clock. It works.
Must be around here somewhere.
I don't see our cats.
On the train tracks.
There's Frankie.
Let me see.
They're taking naps over there. On the cat train.
She's frozen.
The train is coming up fast.
Seriously though, why do two people need to go get married?
I don't know. Rocket boots? There we go. Because we've established time and again, what's Redbot's primary contribution? Rocket boots.
You saved me. You are a hero.
This is not a good moral.
You're all right.
Maybe he learned not that it's hard. I don't know. Maybe he learned that it's better to be a real hero than a fake one. That could be a thing.
Don't talk to me about time.
Or are you saying that the bad moral is you shouldn't save little girls on the train tracks?
Tell you about the source code.
I'm saying the bad moral is if you lie and say you did something and people call you out on it and then you go and do it, that makes everything all better.
Well, we don't know if that makes everything all better yet.
It appears to have made it all better with Mary at the very least.
It can be a mitigating factor at the very least.
Ninja spin! Ninja force attack!
Claw shred?
Someone please explain to me why the White Rangers generally have pink trim.
For some reason they like to do that on female White Rangers. I mean, white is also a bit of a...
Here's the thing. They already have a pink ranger, so they could have made hers a different color.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't there one White Ranger who had slightly purple trim? No? I'm making things up?
Probably. This kitty is litter.
I'm just saying they could have used a color that wasn't already being used by another team member.
That's true. Because we have had white with pink trim before, but that was in lieu of a pink ranger.
Exactly.
That was back in Wild Force.
And I'm looking at it going, that is the exact same shade of pink as the other female ranger.
I mean, it does tie them together nicely, but it's still a little strange.
I mean, it would probably go really nice with Girl Cyan.
Fair enough.
With Boy Blue, it might be a little bit jarring, but with Girl Cyan, it could work.
That's fair. I mean, I will admit that it does... I was going to say it helps visually tie their swords together, but no, the Kodiak sword doesn't have any pink on it. It just goes inside the pink sword. Really all it does is just sort of segregate off the girls a bit in terms of their color schemes. Which, on the one hand, they do look nice together in terms of the complements of color schemes, but on the other hand...
this team doesn't have a Green Ranger, does it?
No.
So she could have been green trim.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, guys, I'm back to help.
Hey.
Ready. Did you guys find Mary? She's safe and sound. Thanks to Redbot. But this cat's in all sorts of trouble.
Because of those... How? I'm so amused how the only thing Redbot ever seems to do is always the rocket boots. Although apparently also being a robot makes you immune to time freezing. Why couldn't it have been...
I would think the better thing would have been, I wasn't holding a book.
Yeah, he wasn't holding a book. He was the... Not, he had the sample book, not the... Or if he had a book, it would have been the sample book, not the ones that everybody else was receiving. Like, I'm immune because I'm a robot? That was not... There was no, like, foreshadowing to that. It's just, this is our excuse, we're moving on. Also, I'm not quite sure...
Cosmo has...
Yes! I want to read Cosmo's blog.
I think it's going to get shut down momentarily.
Cosmo the champion. Oh, Galvanax is not pleased.
Like I said, it's about to get shut down momentarily.
Is that another new face? I don't know if I've seen a sad face from him before. I like how they keep modifying him hexadecimal style. Also, Nick, why are you able to remove the books and not be affected by...
He pulled on gloves just before they left.
Oh, is that it?
I am as shocked as you are to learn that he is not the hero that we thought he was.
You were willing to track down his IP address, but you weren't willing to fact check
him.
What? You are also not going to sell this as a fiction novel now?
I have something to say.
You're going to apologize,
I
as you
owe
should.
you all an apology. I didn't tell the truth in my stories. I'm just a robot. The Power Rangers are the real heroes, not me.
Hey, everyone! You won't believe what happened. Hurry, turn on the TV.
What do you know? Watching
When a small girl was saved by internet sensation Redbot. Cell phone footage shows a train was about to hit her when the brave robot rushed to her aid.
Whose cell phone footage was that?
I will be here.
And why weren't they helping the little girl stuck on the train tracks?
And now everybody's okay with it. Wrong moral! Also, I'm going to assume that it was Levi's phone.
Redbot,
He was on a motorcycle.
be a hero all
He was
the
in
time,
motion.
but you're a hero when it counts.
He was not at the right angle for that.
Thank you, Mary.
Yo, Redbot, can I have your autograph?
Really? Okay.
Sign mine, please.
Oh,
Wrong moral!
too kind.
What?
Now they all want his book, even though it's completely full of lies, because he saved Mary. It doesn't make any sense at all.
I decided not to unfreeze them just
See, gloves.
yet. I figured
Oh,
they
okay.
weren't useful as managers, so I found something they could do perfectly.
You left them frozen.
Wait,
Next Saturday at 12.
He left them frozen and repositioned them as coat racks.
wait.
You know, he's a teacher at that school. That is the sort of thing that gets you fired.
Also, the spell is still in effect. They could just stay that way. Wait, why?
Why is the spell still in effect? Well, Cat.
The spell is still in
Is dead.
effect after the monster's been destroyed, but also, why is it that... Okay, so apparently the books are only dangerous so long as you are still holding the book
The first time.
the first time, but if the book is taken away
And then given back to
given
you.
back to you, you're fine.
You're fine.
How do these books... How does this...
I suppose the freezing occurs while the bzz, bzz, bzz ray is happening, and then you stay frozen. But the books are reset back to their dormant setting when you're not holding them anymore.
I guess. Also,
That makes a heck of a lot more sense than everybody suddenly praising Redbot, who had been deceiving huge numbers of people and profiting greatly from it, just because he turned around and did one heroic thing after claiming to have done quite a few falsely.
there was...
Basically, they're saying that you could pretend and fake and lie about your past all you want.
And so long as you have one decent trait that people can latch on to, they will still support you and forgive. This episode is
Maybe
too
a little
real.
bit true,
This
but
episode
also
is
not
too
something we
real.
want to teach the kiddos.
This episode has gotten this episode has just been way too real. It's ridiculous.
Way too real.
For an episode about fibbing, this is the most real episode. How is it that the Redbot Focus episode is the most real episode of the season? That is amazing.
Redbot is fake news.
Now, I'm not saying that it's actually like an amazing episode, but it's amazing.
It is the most timely and appropriate Aesop, despite being a broken Aesop.
Now note, plenty of things did not actually make sense. Like, Catacloc's powers are wildly inconsistent. And like, why can Cosmo move? I just realized that. If the spell remains intact after Catacloc is destroyed, Cosmo was frozen at the beginning of the episode because apparently Catacloc cursed his coat.
I've got this one. Okay?
Yeah.
Before Catacloc went down,
Yeah.
he unfroze Cosmo.
I guess.
Because, would not, Master
Galvanax?
Galvanax would not be happy to have
Galvanax is apparently little buddy foo-foo.
would not like to have one of his minions, offline for that long. He'd want him turned back on so he could do his job.
That's fair, but that's still... That would have been a perfect opportunity to demonstrate how the mechanics of Catacloc's powers work.
Besides which, how would you get the coat off of him?
Exactly! It's part of his...
It's entirely possible that his remote has a reverse setting.
I guess. That would have been nice to know. I'm also...
It also clearly wasn't used here on Earth, or else Victor and Morty would have been unfrozen.
Monty. But I also find it really funny. It's like, why couldn't we move? That's a fascinating statement to unpack there. Because in order to say that, Sarah needed to be aware that she wasn't moving, and yet somehow not aware that the giant monster had frozen them all. Or, not giant monster, the monster had come in and frozen them all, and explained what he was doing in front of her. So were you aware of what was going on while time was still, or not?
Okay, wait. Okay, how about this? I've got an answer for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if...
Yeah.
They could neither see, hear, or feel...
Okay.
But they were still cognizant in their brain and going, I'm blind, deaf, but I can't move!
Fair enough. That's, you know... That in and of itself is a horrible implication.
Yes.
You all suffered terribly.
I have no mouth, but
come to think of it, that's all the more reason you would not want Redbot's book. Because it incurred upon you a terrible nightmarish experience. That you'll always want a signed souvenir of.
It's all lies.
It's all...
And yet they still want the book.
Nothing matters.
And I don't understand.
Nothing matters.
Because you're right. We are living in a time period where people can tell blatant lies, get caught in those blatant lies, and people still believe them the next time they lie. How many lies does a person have to be caught in before you start going, maybe we should take this guy with a grain of salt?
Apparently it's believe someone until they're proven to be a liar, at which point you can believe them again the moment that you find something true to latch onto, and then hold on to it like the grim grasp of death. That's how society works, don't you know? I apologize if we're making this a little too topical for some of you guys, but
I think we're doing remarkably well at skirting the topic.
The parallels are just amazing.
The parallels to things which we are not going to be explicitly mentioning.
It's amazing.
Although, from what I understand, if one takes it from some alternative points of view,
yeah,
such as person,
okay,
the same things apply to entirely different people.
Okay.
So, really, it's not... Whatever angle you're coming at this from, there's the people that you think are good and the people that you think are bad.
Yeah.
And people have leveled accusations against all sides.
Right.
Now, that being said, we obviously have the side that we believe, but it's topical even if you're on the other side. Because at that point, remember, the people who have accusations leveled against them that are not true often have that backed up by, well, a bunch more stuff that you read on the internet.
Yeah. This episode is sociologically fascinating.
Well, that's because people writing something on the internet, right? They just say, this is true, and they write it down.
Yeah.
And then somebody else reads it and go, this is true, this proves it. But anyone can write anything on the internet, which, I don't know, that was drilled into me when I was like,
Yeah.
In the internet age. Remember when the internet, okay. We're aging ourselves a little here, but a lot of other people who watch this are this generation anyway.
Towards the older end of the millennial generation. We are millennials.
Well, we're part of the Oregon Trail generation, which is a It's a cusp generation between X and millennials.
Yeah, we're towards the older edge of millennials.
Well, the description of the Oregon Trail generation really fits us.
Yeah, that's true.
But the point of the matter is that when we were in elementary
when we were children,
and middle school,
when we were children, there was no
internet.
I mean, it existed,
right? But not
it was
your house.
Internet was not ubiquitous.
Like GE had the internet, and maybe Research College had the internet, but your house did not have the internet.
I remember when I was a kid. I was watching Ghost Rider on PBS, and it was like, and the one kid Jamal had a modem, and it was like the coolest thing. It's like because the way that Ghost Rider worked was he communicated via rearranging letters, so they could communicate. So he would communicate to them via the computer all the time. And they could, like, send Ghost Rider places via email. Which was amazing.
Okay. But where I was going with this...
Through the tubes, you know.
Where I was going with this that's relevant to the story, okay?
Yes.
So when we were in... You know how when you start as a kid, even though you're not going to be really seriously doing this until you're much older, you start off writing reports, which are really, like, 2 pages long.
Yeah.
This is not writing a term paper, but for all you care, at 7 years old, it's just as hard. Oh, and one of the things you have to do is cite sources. You have to go down to the school library and pick up actual books and cite them sources in your bibliography. And one thing I remember is when the internet began becoming ubiquitous, what the teachers would tell you over and over and over is... The internet is not a valid source.
I'm in grad school now, and I'll even get that. Although there are exceptions.
There are sites now that are considered to be.
Yeah. There's an online library for the college.
Yeah. There's also there are things that are classified as quote unquote scholarly websites.
Exactly.
And you can cite a scholarly website because it has the backing of an organization that has the books.
Generally speaking, .govs are usually valid. Or anything that is through a digital library that's approved.
Right, and then of course there are also scientific journals which are published both in paper and online. You can reference the online version.
Right.
But anything you can find through JSTOR.
Yeah. JSTOR is
JSTOR.
Yeah, that's an excellent
anything you can find through that. But the thing of it is that people don't necessarily take the time anymore to look for vetted scholarly websites. They just Google it and go with whatever they find.
That's something that's sort of a new experience for me now because I, back in high school, I was still referencing physical books. And I didn't have to do any research like term papers back in college. I was a physics major where we were studying equations, and we had I didn't have to write reports or essays. That wasn't my major. Same thing with EMAC. It was all artistic projects.
All art projects.
So it wasn't about researching and vetting information.
But now you're having to do that.
But now I'm having to do that, and that's kind of a new thing.
That's a lot harder in the internet age. Because there's a lot more information out there, but it's also harder to figure out which information you can trust.
Fortunately, there is the library.
Is what this episode is about.
Yeah. Like, there are so many layers of things that this episode could apply to, and I feel like they didn't actually really talk about what they were, but they were all there.
I was going to say, even at a kid's level, even if you take higher level, the stuff we're dancing around out of it, bringing it back down to things like, just because so-and-so typed this on Facebook doesn't mean it happened.
If they had actually addressed that, even a little bit, at some point in the episode, that would have been a valuable lesson to take away.
If Jimmy says Sally was kissing Roy behind the school, and he says this on Facebook, that doesn't mean that it happened.
You know what I just realized?
What?
The lesson that belongs in this episode was the lesson from the last episode. Don't believe everything you hear. Except in that case, it didn't make sense because they were hearing it directly from the people, except that they were imposters, of course. But here,
it makes sense.
It was on the internet.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet,
How
people.
do you keep switching around your
And I say
like
that as someone who is steeped in the internet. I love the internet. I am addicted to the internet. You still can't believe everything you read online.
Like, for example, I performed the character of Database Ranger. Database Ranger is not named Jacob Brody. We are two separate people.
Yes.
Not everybody realizes that.
How do they not realize that? Because you, sweetheart, I love you.
Yeah.
But this might come as a surprise to a lot of the people who think you're the same person as Database Ranger. My husband cannot morph.
To your knowledge. That is not easily falsifiable.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, actually, on our TV tropes page, there was, spoilers for Power reviews. One of the things listed on the TV tropes page was like the reveal, and it said, or cliffhanger, something like that. Jacob was infected by the Venjix virus. I'm like, I wasn't infected by the Venjix virus. Database Ranger
was infected by the virus. I understand that
that's probably something we should go in there and correct. Or if one of you guys wants to fix it, go ahead.
Yeah, I corrected some stuff a little while ago because everything said I was your girlfriend, so
that's right. Now you are my wife. This is true.
I don't make edits to it very often because it feels weird to edit your own page.
Exactly.
But I was like, find replace girlfriend with wife.
Yeah, it's the same reason I've never edited it. It feels
weird.
Yeah.
Although once or twice I have removed something which is patently untrue. I'm like, where did you get that? No. What? No.
So you heard it here first, people. Jacob was never infected with the Venjix virus. To my knowledge. I could be a sleeper. I don't know. I know those things happen, but I'm pretty sure.
Maybe if we had a wild mass guessing page, one or two of the, because I've only removed like 2 or 3 things, and all of them were like, what? No, that is not a part of the story. How did you come to that conclusion?
I think it would be really funny if there was like wild mass guessing. Live reactions is actually all a scripted part of Power reviews.
Yes, because you and I are the alternate universe counterparts that Database and K encountered at Power Morphicon.
I mean, that is sort of true.
Yes.
That is kind of the idea. Technically, the implication was they visited our universe.
Yes.
As people, which is great.
So technically speaking,
we're
in the canon.
We are kind of in the canon. Everything's in the canon. There's so many canons. Half of what Power Reviews is basically like welding together different continuities.
It's fair. But the point of the matter is,
I can't wait to
the
get
point we're getting to here is
out.
that fiction and reality are different things.
Yes.
And sometimes what you think is a reality on the internet is actually a fiction, and I will point you in the direction of something I mentioned earlier called Munchausen by Internet, where people, for no monetary gain, because this is different than Munchausen
right.
syndrome, usually Munchausen by proxy, where someone will have like fundraisers for their child dying of cancer or whatever.
Right.
And they fiscally benefit from that. Now, in this day and age, people are starting to fiscally benefit from Munchausen by Internet by starting up GoFundMe.
Okay.
But this has been going on since 1998.
Yeah.
Back when you did not send money to people over the internet. Back when you did not tell people what your real name was on the internet. Because your parents go, don't tell anyone your real name. Don't tell them what town you're in. Don't even tell them what state you're in.
Generally speaking, I do try to limit too much identifying information.
Well, I know.
Our
names are not.
I'm producing content.
They know what our names are, and they know what state we live in.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Because but you wouldn't even tell people that much. Like, for many years on the internet, I was Jane.
Yeah.
Because people didn't need to know my actual name.
Yeah.
Because that's what they say, when you were underage on the internet, don't tell anyone your name.
Yeah.
Because that's how the pedophiles come in the car and pick you up on the sidewalk, and then no one ever sees you again.
Yep.
I was going somewhere with that.
Oh,
Munchausen by internet. So people would start up, like, live journals.
Yes.
Back in the day.
I was on LiveJournal.
I had one, too. But they would start one up where they would be, like, you know, just sort of blogging.
Yep.
And then the person they were blogging as would, like, catch a terminal disease.
Yep.
And then they would just keep blogging about their fight against this terminal disease. And they would get lots of people following them and supporting them and going, you know, we support you in your fight against this terminal disease.
That thing.
And eventually,
where they
would die. And their friend would post one last thing on their blog.
Yeah.
And that's...
That thing.
This is a sort of thing that happens
where you
on the internet.
You would develop a persona, get caught up, and kind of spirals out of control until your persona dies.
And people would do this, and I think some people still do, but a lot less often now, because now people find other people on the internet a lot more easily than they used to.
Yeah.
And disprove things.
Everybody has more of a digital footprint now.
Exactly. But basically, Redbot just pulled the superhero version of that.
Little bit. Except sort of inverted in that he was a hero as opposed to...
Right, but what I'm saying, that's what
he was saving people as opposed to dying.
But he was creating a persona for himself which was different than his actual self, and his persona and his self collided, and it was not good.
There are so many fascinating layers to this episode, and I feel like the show is only aware of maybe 2 of them.
And the thing of it is another thing that is, because remember back then at the beginning of the internet, some people had this concept, and some people still do. I don't think they understand what's going on, but people would say, well, it's not real life, it's the internet.
Right.
Like, the internet was a fake place where your actions didn't matter. You could do things on the internet that were completely immoral, like lie and say you have cancer, and it's okay because it's the internet.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
Even if you were in the Matrix, like, you kids remember the Matrix, right? With your red pills and blue pills and all that nonsense.
The red pills and blue pills mean totally different things now.
Somehow it started at the Matrix, but anyway. In the Matrix, if you die in the Matrix, you're dead. There are implications.
Yeah.
You do things in the digital version of yourself, it has ramifications elsewhere.
And people weren't necessarily, because of the whole lack of a digital footprint, people would do things on the internet that they thought would never ever get back to them.
Yeah.
That would never be connected to them. These days people at least have some awareness of the fact that you can get doxxed.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens.
Yeah, I feel like we're reaching some sort of internet tipping point, but I don't know what it's tipping over into.
I'll tell you what we're tipping over into, and it's actually, I think, a good thing, is the acknowledgement that the internet is just one more medium of communication.
Yeah.
And not a separate realm.
Fair.
Where your online footprint is synonymous with who you are as a person offline. So your behavior in one place follows you to the other and vice versa.
Right.
And it's all the real world.
We
just like Redbot's online behavior followed him into the real world.
There is so much stuff about internet behavior that is extremely relevant to the current generation that they did not explore in this episode, and I'm kind of sad
there were a lot
about
of missed opportunities here, especially since we are starting to be in a time where
I wasn't expecting
kids this age have access to the internet. I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
When internet first came out, okay, there were kids of all ages, but kids this age did not go on the internet.
Yeah. Okay? But now, everybody's
on the internet.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to have this whole other way of looking at it now because it's not an age-gated community.
Oh, man. I really wonder if...
It used to be you weren't on the internet until you were at least 13, 14 years old.
I feel like I could be mistaken,
Now we have
but
toddlers
I
with
feel like the
tablets.
writers did not realize all the implications that came with this story. Just going off of the direction they went with it, it seemed to be mostly a. They basically took the classic, sort of boy who cries wolf, fable, but the twist.
Gilderoy Lockhart it up a bit.
Yeah, the twist that you sometimes get on the boy who cried wolf fable, where the boy ends up defeating the wolf at the end, and then gets to be a real hero after he learned how bad it was to get caught in the lie. Which is, it's sort of a classic trope, and it's updated mildly with the blog being the internet. But I feel like they could have gone so much further with it.
Yeah, irresponsible internet usage. That's an Aesop that probably should be given to kids these days, because, like I said, back when we were kids, you were 13, 14 years old. I was older, actually, but at that point. I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
But our parents are still sitting there going, don't give out your home address.
Right.
Don't tell anyone your name.
Right.
I don't think people, drill this into people enough anymore.
Yeah.
And it was also and I remember other kids would do this, and I didn't do this because my parents drilled it in my freaking head.
Yeah.
Back then, there's stay out of chat rooms. Because chat rooms back then were universally full of creepy people.
Yep. I still remember the old phrase, the internet, where the men are men, the women are men, and the children are
FBI agents.
The internet is crazy.
But the thing of it is that was before the days of common use of instant messenger.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to chat with people online, you'd have to go into a public chat room, and you might still just be trying to talk to one person, but everybody else is overhearing your business.
Right.
So it's just stay out of that place, or someone's going to be all ASL, which nobody does that anymore, which is a good thing.
Oh, good. People finally stopped doing that.
Unless you're on Omegle.
I don't know.
Or what's the other one?
As far as I know, people will.
Chat roulette.
Oh, that's still a thing, isn't it?
So unless you're doing
exists,
Omegle is like chat roulette only without the video.
Okay.
So unless you're on one of those, which by the way, I think that's where all the creepers went, so don't go there.
All the creepers were there to begin with. What are you talking about?
No, I mean they've migrated from chat rooms into things like Omegle.
Okay. No, I remember when
No, the moment that came out, the creepers were like, yes.
I remember when the Daily Show did a bit on chat roulette
to see how many inappropriate genital pictures that came through on that thing.
It was all either all people being inappropriate or journalists researching chat roulette. So it's like, Brian Williams, what are you doing here? Oh, hey, John. Back when Jon Stewart was
chat roulette was a weird thing. I think it might still be going on out there, but the thing of it is that, once again, these are places you don't want your children going.
The internet is a dark place.
The internet is a dark place. Obviously, moderated message boards, that's probably a decent place for your kids to be at. Keep them off of Twitter.
Probably a good idea.
They don't need Twitter. I know you're not supposed to be under 13 on Tumblr. There are people under 13 on Tumblr. And then they kick up a fuss.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about subjects like this where children can see it? And we're like, if you're under 13, get off of Tumblr! I think it's something like 13 for Twitter, too. Yeah. There's a reason that these communities are age-gated. Your kid...
Rightfully so.
Go play Penguin.
I mean...
What's that Penguin game?
I
don't know. There's this cute little Penguin MMO that all the children are playing.
There's a Penguin MMO?
There's a Penguin MMO.
That's amazing. Okay, the internet is an awful place, but it's also sometimes an amazing place because apparently there's a Penguin MMO. I'm not going to go and play it.
It's a 2D Penguin MMO, too.
But that sounds amazing. Oh, I love that exists. That there is a Penguin MMO.
You can get booted from the Penguin game just for saying, a swear word.
Fair enough. Oh, that's delightful. That sounds so incredibly wholesome.
That's why I said, if you're a kid, go play the freaking Penguin game.
But, seriously...
Club Penguin. It's called Club Penguin.
Club Penguin.
No, Club Penguin it's by Disney.
You know what? I'm so glad that they picked penguin as the Antarctic animal to go with.
Oh no!
What?
Club Penguin is closed.
Oh.
Apparently, Club Penguin shut down on March 29th of 2017.
Oh, wow, that was
very
this year.
recently.
Yeah.
But it was the first successful MMO for children, Disney's Club Penguin.
I'm so glad that they chose penguins and not baby seals. That would have been awful.
But it was it's like a 2D kind of, if you, like a top-down, like when you're playing like Zelda.
Oh, okay.
And you're penguins.
That sounds so adorable.
It is adorable. Like I'm saying, if you're children, go play Club Penguin and stay away from Twitter, stay away from Tumblr, stay away from Omegle.
Also, if you're an artificial intelligence, you should probably stay away from those things too. People have tried creating artificial intelligence programs to try and learn human behavior, and then set them loose on the internet. And so they learn human behavior from the internet, and it all goes horribly wrong.
That one Twitter bot become a Nazi within 24 hours.
Oh yeah, super quick. It's ridiculous.
The internet is a dark and terrible place.
Oh, I saw a great bit on the internet on Colbert, where he apparently there was like some sort of Google AI that like learned how to walk from like videos on the internet, and the little CG man, like, he walked like a meme. He was walking like this.
Weird things happen on the internet. So, and the thing of it is that we're very comfortable with the internet, right? Because we grew up on it. Well, we didn't grow up on it, but we hit we engaged with it in our early adolescence.
Right.
And it's been a part of our lives for this long. And now people our age are having kids and have had kids. They have them. They're like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're thinking, oh, it's the internet.
Yeah.
And we're stupid because we also know it's the internet.
Oh.
Although they apparently do have, like I said, things like Club Penguin. Apparently there is a children's version of YouTube, which is responsible for a fair amount of skewing with the videos, which is why you just see these weird freaking videos of people like smashing Play-Doh into Elsa figurines that everybody thinks is like, why does this have 6 million views? Because a toddler watched it 40,000 times. That's why.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember, like...
Well, children's YouTube is actually fairly...
I think I remember us watching, keeping an eye on a pair of child actors backstage. We were the childminders for a show.
That was Cat in the Hot Tin Roof.
Yeah, back in
watching
2007, and they're like, can we watch YouTube?
We were like a little scared of what they wanted to watch on YouTube.
They wanted to watch Fred. Remember
and the annoying
Fred?
orange.
Fred was a thing.
Fred got a job on Nickelodeon, didn't he?
Yeah, he had like 3 movies. It was just... apparently, people find it really funny for a kid to act like a much younger kid. I think was his deal.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
I think I remember them also really enjoying Leave Britney Alone. Those kids are probably in college now. We're so
One of them has a baby.
Oh man, you're right. Man, we're all...
Yeah, I'm friends with her on Instagram. She posts baby pictures all the time.
That's so weird.
I don't know what happened to the rest of them, but the one particular one who also did Arcadia.
Right. When she was a little older.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She has a kid.
She's a kid.
That is so weird. It's so weird when someone who you like babysat. Not like babysat like when you were also a kid, but babysat like when you were in college. Like, it is now...
Is now an adult.
Now has a kid?
Yeah.
Like, not just as an adult, but has a kid. The fact that someone
she appears to be doing very well as
babysat in college has a kid.
Well, the thing of it is we're in our mid-30s and we still don't have
early
kids.
30s. We're still in our early 30s.
Early 30s and we still don't have kids, whereas...
We are in our mid-early 30s, but we're still in our early 30s.
The point is that...
I'd break down the decades.
Even people a full 10 years younger than us can be having children right now, and it's not a thing. They're 23. That's a perfectly reasonable.
20. We're 32 right now.
They're 22. That's a perfectly reasonable childbearing age.
That is true.
Okay, we're not at a point anymore where people who were that young to us were going, oh no, baby's having babies. We're going, oh yes, young adult, just finished college, settle down, have a baby. That's what some people do. Some people wait. We're waiting.
We're taking our time.
We have things to be doing.
We also graduated at a financially bad time.
That too. But also we have things to be doing.
Kind of the worst.
I wouldn't be able to LARP. I wouldn't be able to spend nearly as much time on MMOs.
Yeah.
Which I only started playing 10 weeks ago and am now thoroughly entrenched in.
It's hilarious.
Just the one.
Yeah. Oh, man. This episode spurred so much discussion, though.
Because it was about responsible use of the internet, and...
Except it wasn't, but we made it that.
It should have been.
It should have been about responsible use of the internet. Instead, it was the very, if we take away the context of the world, it's a very simple episode about, oh, I lied about being a hero because I really wanted to be a hero, but now that I finally got a chance to be a hero, oh, it's so much better than just pretending to be one. Okay, that is something that, has happened, and that's nice, it's cute. But when you put it in the context of lying about yourself on the internet,
having huge numbers of followers,
so much
and then that
context
situation
to that.
following you into real life,
yeah,
that's a thing. Because, for example, we're talking about things...
And it connected, from the cold open.
Yeah.
And so it just
saw him
rode
having
through
his blog, we're like, oh. This is the story.
I did not realize. I knew that there was a whole thing about him having a blog and adventures, it didn't connect what this was going to be until that cold open. And I'm like, he's lying about himself on the internet and getting thousands of readers. Oh, wow. Redbot is fake news. Redbot has suddenly... Congratulations, Redbot. You went from being the least relevant part of the show to the most relevant thing the show has ever done.
Well, there are other things also that come along with that, though. The thing that I was about to talk about was that Redbot, he's got all those thousands of viewers, and his internet activity has followed him into the real world.
Yes.
And, we have not that many followers, not nearly as many as Redbot did.
Yeah.
But even so, we go around the town that we live in, nobody knows, nobody cares. So imagine how weird it was that one time when we showed up to Paramorphicon, after the show had started, and people were recognizing us, and we're like, what the heck?
3 people recognized us in the parking lot of our motel, and it was because we didn't stay at the hotel where Paramorphicon was.
No, we were cheapies.
We stayed at a hotel around the block. But when we got out of the shuttle, 3 different people in the parking lot recognized us, and that was so cool.
People, you don't mean 3 people at one car.
No, 3 separate people in 3 corners of the parking lot.
And I'm just like,
it was really funny.
And it's weird.
It's nice to know that people like us.
It is, but it's also weird. Because a lot of the times you do things on the internet, we do things on the internet, we're doing this on the internet, or Redbot has a blog on the internet, and you don't necessarily understand quite how many people are paying attention until they come up to you in real life.
The coolest thing was Brian Casantini, though. That was amazing. Hi, Brian. And also, hi, Lindsay, who apparently also works... I occasionally still email with Saban Brands, and one of the people who worked there, Lindsay, congratulated us on 5 years, so thank you. Thank you, Lindsay.
Is she some sort of a coordinator or something, right?
Public relations, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who pretty much anyone who tries to talk to them would talk to then, because public relations. She does relations with the public.
But that was nice.
But that's the city. And then when we actually got to the con,
yeah,
on Sunday in the middle of the afternoon, I actually had to go back to the hotel and take off the K getup because I could not handle any more people.
Right, right.
And I'm a lot less recognizable without the wig.
Anyway, we have probably
gone on for far too long.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know how long this
I don't know.
has been going on for, but it's definitely been over an hour.
Yeah, we've talked too much about the internet, but
it's
relevant.
This episode is.
There's so many.
We had so much to talk. Well, honestly, there is so much that this episode spurs in terms of discussion. Like we were talking about it all throughout the episode, all after the episode, and however long we've been going.
I think this is the most relevant after episode talk we've had in a very long time.
We were doing a deep dive here.
Yeah, not too many tangents, and the tangents all loop back to actually being relevant.
It would have been great, though, if the show was aware of how topical some of its subjects have been. Because if we go back to the first sort of filler episode, the first regular episode after the 2-part premiere, Live and Learn, the whole thing with Brody and the Datacom, and using technology in the classroom. Which was not handled, modernly. It was just like, it was superficially modern to update the don't cheat, and instead trust your own skills.
There were more missed opportunities there as well.
Yeah, it wasn't to the same level as this. But there's such a new layer of the world that they're touching on without really understanding the wealth of lessons in morality and behavior that you can explore with them, that are extremely important for children to learn.
Especially in this internet age, because what they do in their family's house, sitting in a chair in the living room or in their laptop in their bedroom, it matters, and it can affect your life for the rest of your life.
And I keep...
People who are younger than us who had Facebook in high school...
Yeah.
Some people ruined their career chances by having the wrong pictures be public.
Right. But like one of the things I always feel like is a great opportunity through children's shows that not many really explore anymore. And Power Rangers is a key case because it's always been we've always had morality plays within the show.
Oh yeah.
And that's.
You used to have a very special PSA at the end of every episode.
Well, not at the end of every episode, but it was a regular commercial type thing. And it doesn't really explore as so many shows don't take the real opportunity to explore these important topics for kids to learn in the new world that we're in this new millennium. A few shows do, like Steven Universe covers a lot of important issues with regards to identity and relationships. That's fantastic. And that's pretty much the best example I can think of.
Well, here's the thing. We don't watch a lot of the younger people stuff. And I know we've seen commercials, at the very least, for that Harvey Danger show that seemed to involve them getting streamed on the internet. So they must be touching on the internet somewhere.
Yeah. But I feel like they're going for more of the sitcom than more of the morality play.
Well, sometimes the sitcom is a morality play.
True.
I bring you back to some of the old family favorites.
Full House.
Like Full House and Family Matters.
Full House and Family Matters. But it doesn't seem to be what they're really about much anymore.
Or even the Golden Girls. Man, the Golden Girls touched on so many topical things.
They do try and have the little character. The character learns a lesson every episode, but they don't try and play it up
That's So
quite
Raven
as
used to learn a lot of lessons.
I think anymore. Yeah? I didn't watch that one.
The Sabrina the Teenage Witch learned a lot of lessons.
I think the most important lesson, though, for kids coming into this new era, that no one is... I feel like not enough people are stressing on is the ability to filter information. Because there is so much information out there, and no one really knows how to tell what's real from what's fake anymore. And the ability to filter that through and understand what's truth and what's false is really important, and very few people.
And you know what I'm remembering right now?
And it's affecting our society as a whole.
I am remembering an episode of The Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
That actually touched on that.
Yeah?
I forget
The
which
Brady
kid it
Bunch?
was, but one of the kids wanted this thing that was advertised on the back of a comic book.
Okay.
And they saved up all their money to get it.
And it was...
And it was not as advertised. Because
Yeah.
apparently, back then, that was a very common thing.
It was like the
for them to
X-ray
be
specs.
Uh-huh.
The classic thing with X-ray specs.
And
Alright.
that sort of thing happens on the internet, too.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was saying that we were wrapping up, and then I went on.
We failed totally.
So,
Oh, God,
really interesting episode. Missed opportunities. Didn't realize the show didn't realize how interesting it was. I hope that they learn how interesting this subject matter is and how important it is in the future.
Because the internet is forever.
Yeah.
And you don't need the mistakes you make when you're 9 following you forever.
So, until next time, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. Redbot, 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 fake news, Redbot, Redbot, Redbot.